Luxury crossovers are a dime a dozen these days, usually providing similar features, technology, and performance. Yet when it comes to uniqueness and individuality, that's where finding a vehicle that stands out on the road can become a bit of a challenge. For the last decade or so, you'd probably overlook a brand like Infiniti, as their vehicles just don't have the same appeal as BMW or Mercedes-Benz, and possibly even Lexus. Today, there's the all-new Infiniti QX55, a crossover that's wasted no time catching the eye of motorists and journalists who've all had positive comments to make about this vehicle, as it has a striking road presence and the driving dynamics are pretty impressive. The real question is whether Infiniti now has a legitimate contender in a crowded luxury compact crossover segment, and if it's better than its closest rivals. So here are 5 reasons why you should buy a 2022 Infiniti QX55. We could probably have a long discussion on how Infiniti was the first brand that made owning a crossover cool and streamlined in the early 2000s with the FX35. But today, in 2021, there's still plenty of vehicles that have unappealing angles and lacking an inspiring road presence. Even with performance crossovers beginning to dominate the luxury market, most of the options in this segment all have similar designs and just don't have a unique style that stands out amongst the crowd. The 2022 Infiniti QX55 brings some retro styling that pays homage to its predecessor, while at the same time having a striking exterior design that certainly turns heads as it cruises by on the roadways. From the rounded rear fascia to the massive front grille and aggressive body lines that adds character to this crossover, you'll have a hard time finding a bad angle when staring at the QX55. As you get behind the wheel, the muscular hood design creates a sports car-like feel, and as we talked about in our full review, the closest competitor in terms of styling would be the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, which has similar cosmetic features and is also seen as being a standout in a highly contested market. Where Infiniti succeeded with the overall design has to be with the front fascia, as they found the right balance of chrome accents, brushed aluminum, and gloss black accents, which all add a nice contrast with the optional $700 slate gray body color. However, we can't overlook the rear third of the QX55, as it wears the Sportback design very well, arguably looking much better than the QX50 it's based on, and more importantly, with the plastic cladding being held to a minimum, this crossover looks sleek and fun, which is important for Infiniti as they try to capture a more youthful consumer demographic. If there's one aspect of the automotive industry that we can all agree on, it's the complete lack of an inspiring and driver-centric interiors, especially for crossovers, as brands go for functionality and the high-tech look rather than giving drivers a fighter jet-like cockpit that enhances the overall driving experience. While Infiniti is not known to be the flashiest or most luxurious brand on the market, they have a fun and user-friendly interior inside the QX55 with dual touchscreens, a wide center console to give occupants up front a perception of being in a bigger crossover, and with a Century trim, a two-tone cabin that adds a sports car vibe. It should be noted that where Infiniti is falling a bit behind is with technology, as you won't have a full digital display like we see in BMW, Audi, or Mercedes-Benz. However, you will have a very easy-to-read head-up display with traffic sign recognition and a digital speedometer to help keep your eyes on the road ahead. Overall, the interior is really comfortable, making longer trips or daily commuting far more enjoyable. With most sporty crossovers that have a lower roofline and a fastback rear end, you often sacrifice quite a bit when it comes to practicality. But also, at first glance, the QX55 appears to be very compact. To help improve interior room, Infiniti gives second-row passengers the ability to slide their seats forwards or backwards, which is uncommon for vehicles in this segment. With that amount of adjustability, tall passengers can sit more comfortably despite headroom being a minor concern. Then for rear cargo space, believe it or not, the Infiniti QX55 outclasses most crossovers with similar designs, including the Audi Q5 Sportback and Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and thanks to its wider stance, you can easily fit more than 3 bags of luggage if you're going on a road trip with the family, making the QX55 a great road trip vehicle. Adding to the utility, this crossover is also off-road versatile as well, with over 8 inches of ground clearance. And with all-wheel drive coming standard, the QX55 is ready for all road conditions you may encounter during your daily commutes. In today's era of technology and computerized driving dynamics, it seems as though most vehicles have the same feel, especially in the luxury markets. When it comes to steering input, straight line accelerations, and even the fabricated sport modes found in non-performance vehicles, there's no sense of the driving experience being natural, or at the very least, being unique. Infiniti has taken a far different approach compared to the Germans, and even some Japanese rivals, as the QX55 is agile in cornering with car-like tendencies that up to this point has only been found in the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. While unfortunately you will have a CVT paired with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, there won't be the constant droning when you put your foot down. And instead, the CVT will mimic the gear shifts better than what we've seen from other versions of this transmission. Despite the exterior design, Infiniti is still focused on giving drivers a relaxing and luxurious experience. And during our time with the QX55, there were 2 things that really stood out to us. The first being the ride quality and suspension, as this crossover handled the imperfections in harsh New England roads very well. But also the QX55 comes standard with 20-inch wheels, and normally you'd go with a smaller tire size for optimal comfort, yet we found them to be more than adequate. Then when it comes to interior quality and road noise, the cabin is very well insulated. However, in sport mode, rather than having fake audio being pumped into the cabin, the QX55 doesn't become aggressive in a fabricated way, and instead the only differences you'll notice is steering input and throttle response, which together provide enough feedback where the driving experience becomes fun and engaging. Where Infiniti has drawn a lot of praise with the QX55 is with their decision to go back to their roots, as an aggressive and performance crossover design has returned to the lineup, which hasn't been seen from this brand in quite a while. Even better, they gave us a vehicle that is enjoyable to drive despite having a CVT, practical enough if you have a family, and a unique interior that immerses you into a sports car-like atmosphere. When compared to its closest rivals, like Acura and Lexus, Infiniti is bringing a new twist to a mundane segment, as it balances luxury and performance quite well, without compromising the overall driving experience. This could very well be just the start of bigger and better projects down the road for Infiniti, as they've been in the shadows of German and Japanese rivals that have gone far more mainstream with larger lineups. The QX55 is without question a standout in this segment, and brings a refreshing road presence and driving characteristics to possibly make it the ideal luxury daily driver you've been looking for. We hope you enjoyed this quick buyer's guide for the 2022 Infiniti QX55. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you're interested in buying a QX55 or any other luxury crossover, make sure to check out our full reviews to help you find your next vehicle. And thanks for watching.